Alright, you're welcome guys. This is Olayemi Eleke. So an instructor of data science at data science school at Data Lab in Nigeria. Data Lab we interface with different students from Nigeria and also outside Nigeria, where we reskill and we upskill them in data science. So in this course, I'm going to teach you how to access massive amounts of data using the Kaggle API, and you are also going to learn how to create a database in SQL and how to write that data set from Kaggle into SQL database. So now let me introduce you to Kaggle. Kaggle is a subsidiary of Google, and it's an online community of data scientists and machine learning engineer. So on Kaggle, you are going to find massive amount of data sets that you can use to kickstart your data science projects, and this could be very useful to you, especially if you need a third-party data set to integrate into your data science projects. Maybe you have another set of data, maybe you work in a company and your company have this in-house data sets and you are working on that, fine, but you also need like third-party data sets to integrate into what you are doing. So data set from Kaggle are very rich sources of data, and they could be very useful for your data science project, maybe as a company or as individual. So we are going to learn how to gain access to massive collections of data sets from Kaggle. So let's get started now. So the first thing you are going to do is to get your Kaggle public API to interact with Kaggle resources. So Kaggle resources are their massive collections of public data sets. Then they also host competitions, and you can sign up for their competitions, as in data science competitions. Okay, then they also host kernel, which are a kind of web-based Jupyter notebook that you can use to run your code right there on their website and get your output. Then you can also use it to participate in competitions. So what you are going to do is to head up to Kaggle website, where you will be able to sign up for your own Kaggle account. So then you are going to get your API from your Kaggle account. Then you are going to click on your user profile, go to your account tab, and from your account tab you are going to scroll down their page to a section of the page labeled API, and you're going to click on create new API token, and this API token will be downloaded out for you as a JSON file. Okay, so I'm going to show you quickly how to get that done. So you must have gone to www.kaggle.com and sign up, fill their details and log in, and right from there you are going to click on your user profile picture, then navigate to your account tab. Now if you navigate to your account tab, it's going to bring you here. So this is where you are going to come over to, and right here, if you scroll down the page, you will see this API section that says create new API token. So you're going to click on this create new API token, and once you click on it, right away it's going to download a file for you on your system, and that file will be in form of a JSON file. So now for that file, you are going to place it strategically somewhere on your system, and let me show you where you're going to place it. So you are going to place your API credential, that is the JSON file downloaded from the Kaggle website. You are going to place it at the appropriate place on your system by navigating to your C drive, users, your Windows username. Then there will be a folder there called Kaggle, where you are going to click the folder Kaggle and you are going to drop the API credential JSON file. So for my own, this is my own path to where I drop the API credential JSON file for my own system. You can see this is my C drive, my users, then I have a folder called elove, then inside the elove folder I have another folder called Kaggle. So right in the Kaggle folder, that is where I dropped the API credential JSON file. So you have to do that, otherwise this process will not work. Okay, so right now, as I told you, the Kaggle resources are like competitions, which are data science competitions to solve specific real world problem. Kaggle notebook run in kernel, which execute the codes in the notebook, whether in R or Python. Then what really interests us in this tutorial is the data sets. So the data sets are so massive on Kaggle, which we want to gain access to. So Kaggle contains massive repository of data sets on various real world problems. Okay, so no matter what you are working on, maybe e-commerce, you are looking for data on various aspects of e-commerce, or you are working on health and you are looking for data on various aspects of healthcare, or you are working on drug discovery, you are working on finances, you are working on an energy project, you are working on a marketing project, there's virtually every data set for every project existing on Kaggle, and that makes the website a very rich repository of data set on various real world problems that you may be working on in data science. So right now I'm going to teach you how to access those data sets. Now that we have our Kaggle API credentials downloaded from the Kaggle website, and we have placed the credential on appropriate place or at the appropriate place in our system, now we are going to use the Kaggle command line tool to work with the Kaggle API, which I said we've placed at the appropriate place on our system or on my system. So you should also do that so that this whole process will work for you. So I'm going to use the Kaggle API to interact with data sets on Kaggle, and I can also download it out and do various operations with it. So the first thing you have to do is to install the Kaggle command line tool to use on this Jupyter notebook, which is this platform we are using here. So you are going to do !pip install Kaggle. Now I have already done this, so I don't need to run this code again. So I'm going to go to the next cell here. I'm going to verify whether everything works fine and Kaggle command line tool has been installed that can interact with my Kaggle API. So I'm going to run this code now, and right now you can see I have the Kaggle API 1.5.112 installed. So this code, check for the commands you can use to work with the Kaggle API, and as you can see, we have so many options here that we can use to interact with the Kaggle API. And right here at the top you can see we have options for competitions, for data sets, and for kernels and config, which are resources on Kaggle that you can use the API to interact with. Now API means application programming interface. So it's a connector between your system and another system. Now we are going to use the Kaggle command line tool, which is on our own system in Jupyter Notebook here, to interact with the Kaggle API, where we can draw dataset from. The next thing is to view the dataset command. So in order to view the dataset command that you can use to interact with the API, you are going to run this code here. And right now you can see a list of options that we can use to interact with dataset through the Kaggle API. So you can see you can list available datasets, you can list dataset files, you can download dataset files using the download option. You can use the create option to create new datasets even inside Kaggle, because Kaggle is a public repository of massive datasets. So anyone can come to Kaggle and create new datasets. And as I told you, those datasets, they are real world datasets, most of them, and very relevant to almost every data science project you may think of. And right here, let's go ahead and list available commands to search for data sets. So here, if I use list -h, this will give me the list of available commands to search for specific data sets on Kaggle. Now you have to go through all this so that you can know the different options available to you. So the next thing I'm going to do is to search for data on electricity. Now I have been working on the energy data for some time now, and I'm really interested in knowing the available data on electricity on Kaggle. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to, for example, let's search for the electricity data sets all over Kaggle. So I'm going to run this code to do that. Kaggle, I'm going to use the dataset command and list every available electricity data on Kaggle. So let me run this for you. And right away, you can see the results of every form of electricity data we have on Kaggle. There are so many of them. Just as I told you, Kaggle is a massive repository of dataset on any project you may think of in data science, and you need to start using it right away to generate or to collect data for your projects. And right here, you can see, if you look very closely at this, you can see here we have the size of the data, we have the download count of the data, and we have the vote count. Then the title of the data is also here. And if you check down here, you will see it contains the name of the owner of the data set, that is the person who uploaded the data set on Kaggle, and you can also see the name of the data sets. Okay, so right here, I'm going to go right to the next cell, and in this next cell, I'm going to sort the result of this list by votes. By vote means I want to know the top data sets on electricity on Kaggle. I will be interested in those ones. So right here, I'm going to run this code to sort by vote. And right away, you can see the results. So the first thing I have here is this data set called hourly energy consumption. It's 11 MB in size. It was uploaded in 2018, not too long. Okay, so right here, I'm going to make use of this first electricity or energy consumption data set. So here you can see the name of the person who uploaded the data set or the profile name of the person who did it, and you can see the name of the data set, hourly energy consumption. So that is the data set I'm interested in. So I'm going to use the Kaggle command line to interact with this API and download this data set out into my Jupyter notebook here in form of a Pandas data frame. So right now, let's go ahead. So let's access files in individual data sets. Now this data set is like a folder, and inside the folder there are other sub data sets or subfolders. So right here I'm going to use the dataset command again to access the files inside the hourly energy consumption dataset folder. So I'm going to run this code to do that. And right away you can see that the hourly energy consumption dataset is actually a folder, and that folder contains so many CSV files datasets, as you can see all over here. But in this project I will just make use of one of them. So right now I will be interested in the PJM load hourly energy dataset, which is of course a CSV file. So let's go ahead and download the data. So I'm going to see the download options to do that, because I need to download this dataset from Kaggle right here into my Jupyter notebook. As it is right now, I am still interacting with the Kaggle API. It's not yet on my own Jupyter notebook here, so I need to download this data set out of Kaggle right into my Jupyter notebook here, so that I can have it locally on my computer here. So right here I'm going to see the download options to do that. So I'm going to run this code, and right now you can see that I have so many download options to do that. So you can go through it and see the various download options that you can use. Right now this is to download the whole files, but I'm not going to download the whole files. As I told you, I'm just interested in the PJM load hourly CSV from that dataset folder. So right here, this will allow me to download specific file from that folder. The specific file or the specific data set I'm interested in is the PJM load hourly CSV, and you can see the code to do that. Kaggle dataset, the download option is here, then this is the path to the dataset folder, then this is the specific file or CSV file data I'm interested in, PJM load hourly. So I'm going to download it out and you will watch it. Okay, so I've already downloaded it, and that is why it's showing this for me. Okay, so if you do it, then it's going to show you a fresh download. All right, now that we have it now, I'm going to read in the data set right into my Jupyter notebook now using Pandas. Now this data set, if you navigate back to the home of your Jupyter notebook, you will see that this PJM load hourly.csv data, it's already there. Now we can now read it in using Pandas. So as you know, if you are familiar with data science, this is how we use Pandas to read in a CSV file. So I'm going to read in the file here and store it as energy. So let's do that. And right now you can see this is the data set now live in my Jupyter notebook. So I have taught you how to interact with the Kaggle API, how to use various options that the Kaggle command line interface have in interacting with the Kaggle API, and how to access different data sets on Kaggle by specifying specific keywords that you want. And right in this course, I specified electricity data, and you can see that there are various or massive amount of electricity data on Kaggle, and I was able to download one of them out, and of course a specific file in one of them. I hope you enjoy this. In the part 2 of this course, I'm going to teach you how to write these data sets into SQL Database, where you can store it for future use. Thank you, and look forward to meeting you in part 2 of this course.